I'll have a look through my start sheet there just to check the riders, but they're all having problems here on this descent. I can tell you, I actually came off here as well yesterday before the racing, and that was Tracy Brunger, the British rider, coming off there. She's usually superb on her descending. These riders clearly having problems. Conditions under wheel, very, very slippery. I mean, well, pictures tell a story, I think. Mayhem, absolute mayhem. So important, therefore, to get to the head of affairs. My word, I've never seen racing like this, apart from in the early days of mountain biking in Great Britain. And conditions usually are terrible most of the time. But clearly the field having difficulty here. And the women going off first in the morning, always having the worst of conditions. And it looks like the Scot rider, I think that is, that's B.Blatter in the lead. My word, leading out a World Cup race for the first time in her career. And I think she's being chased by Paola Pezzo, the winner here from 1999. She is indeed. The Olympic champion is chasing her hard as the rest of the riders go through the rock garden. Number 18, the Subaru Specialized rider, Elsbeth Vink, going through there. Chantal Decour, number 13, foot down, having difficulty. Caroline Alexander, the British champion, electing to run. She's won the cross-country, the cyclocross championships in Britain so many times and knows how to run with a bike. But this woman, B.Blatter, doing so well. The Swiss rider, she's actually only been riding mountain bikes since 1997, and she's on the fastest part of the course now, coming down from the wooded section. This is a section of the course that's roughly about 2.5 kilometers long, going down into the start-finish area. And B.Blatter has got a lead of about 50 seconds to a minute on Paola Pezzo as Blatter comes through the start-finish area for the first time. Excellent riding from the Scot rider. And it's Pezzo coming through in second spot. The riders going through the start-finish area on this track every lap as they go through the beer tent as well. And lots of people in the beer tent enjoying the racing and indeed the beer as well. You would expect that from this venue in St.Wendel. They are very keen, and it's Alison Dunlap in third spot at the moment, being chased hard by a pack of 4 riders: Marga Fiona, Caroline Alexander, Chantal Decour, and I can't see who that 4th rider is at the end of affairs there. I'll just wait till we get a closer view of that. But the spectators waiting at the rock garden now. And I think it's B.Blatter in the lead at the moment, currently lying 7th in the World Cup standings. She's done so well so far this year. 7th at Napa, 6th at Mazatlan. Bit disappointed with her performance in Houffalize. She said she was a little tired there, but she is storming now. This is a big surprise over the 1997 World Champion and World Cup winner from that year, Paola Pezzo, with Alison Dunlap now joined by Marga Fiona, who I'm hearing over my headphones had a crash on the first lap, but has come back from that. Caroline Alexander having a very poor start, but getting right up to the head of affairs, but she is with Chantal Decour. Blatter riding out of her skin. As I said, she only really came onto the circuit in 1998. She did the World Championships in 97. She was 22nd in the World Cup that year. But Pezzo motoring now. She really does like this course, Paola Pezzo. She won here in 99. She was 2nd in 97 behind Caroline Alexander, 4th in 98. Very good Palmares here at St.Wendel. This the fastest part of the course. And Alison Dunlap now with Marga Fiona. Dunlap having a stomping season so far. 2nd at the first 2 rounds, 4th at Houffalize, which I'm sure she would have won. Marga Fiona won that race, but Dunlap had a lead of about 30 seconds before she punctured in that race. With a chasing group now, this is fast and furious, led by Chantal Decour. Caroline Alexander in the middle, sandwiched in the middle there. And another rider behind, in fact, 2 more riders there. Looks like Elsbeth Vink. Being chased very hard now by Mary Grigson, who has come up from 22nd position. Good riding. We're going to a short break now. Catch me after that.
The Mountain Bike World Cup with the Volvo V70 cross-country all-wheel drive.
We're going into the last lap here on the women's race here at St. Wendel for the 4th round of the Tissot Cross-Country World Cup, and the woman who has led throughout, B.Blatter, is still leading. She was challenged by Paola Pezzo and Marga Fiona, but both of those riders crashing out and going back to the chasing group, but B.Blatter has been at the head of affairs from the start. Great riding from the Swiss rider. If she can keep this up, she will be qualifying for the Olympics. Has not finished out of the top 10 so far this season, and it doesn't look like she's going to do that here at St. Wendel. And being chased hard now by Paola Pezzo. Mary Grigson has got up to the group there, Alison Dunlap there, and Marga Fiona. I am also hearing over my headphones that Caroline Alexander, the British rider, the British champion, crashed out on the rock garden and wasn't allowed to continue racing. That really is unfortunate because she won here back in 1997 and was looking good here today. But B.Blatter looking the best out of all of these riders, very strong indeed, technically good. She actually says that she doesn't really have a weakness, she's just a very good all-round rider. Considering she's only been racing since 1998, what a rider! And getting great encouragement from the spectators on the course here in Germany, in the Saarland region. They love their cycling. St. Wendel, the 5th time it's had its World Cup race here, and it looks like Alison Dunlap has broken up away from that chasing group. I said broken away. She's only got about 10 metres on Mary Grigson, the overall leader of the World Cup at the moment, and Marga Fiona electing to cycle up that climb then, doing very well indeed. She's come on leaps and bounds technically. And Paola Pezzo, world champion, always in the top 5. You can usually guarantee that. Obviously shaken by that crash she had earlier in the race. But it looks like the Scot rider from Switzerland is going to take this win here in St. Wendel, I think, unless somebody can do something about it. One of those riders, Alison Dunlap, Marga Fiona. It looks like Dunlap has indeed made that break stick. She has got away from Fiona and Pezzo and Grigson. Grigson making a huge effort to try and get back to them when she started so... The leader of the World Cup, but she's not going to catch Alison Dunlap, I don't think. She's certainly not going to catch this woman, B.Blatter. Superb riding from the Swiss rider. She was 10th in the World Cup last year. She had a best position of 3rd in the final at Houffalize, but she's going to go 2 better here in St. Wendel. She's going to get her first ever Tissot World Cup win. What a great ride. And who will it be for second spot? I have a feeling it will be Alison Dunlap. It is indeed, with Marga Fiona right on her tail. The world champion coming home in 3rd spot. And is it going to be a sprint between these two riders, Pezzo and Mary Grigson? I don't actually think so. Pezzo lower down in the order, their teammates, they both ride for the Gary Fisher Saab team, and I think Pezzo, yes, she's letting her teammate take this 4th spot. Great riding, great teamwork from these Gary Fisher Saab riders. Barbara, this was your first World Cup win here. You must be ecstatic, very happy.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. It's a good feeling, but it's just a race. So.
But you were very strong from the start, weren't you?
Yeah, I feel really good this morning. I feel really good last weekend. But last weekend I had technical problems, and I didn't know that I can win a race, but everything must be okay, the bike and me and my mind and everything, and it just happened today.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we call on
the award ceremony there. The winner, B.Blatter, Dunlap in 2nd, Fiona in 3rd. First win for B.Blatter. Excellent riding.
Get your hands on the bubbles.
So the results, confirmation, B.Blatter, her first ever World Cup win. Dunlap in 2nd spot, Fiona in 3rd, Grigson 4th, Pezzo 5th, Chantal Decour, a good ride from her in 6th spot, her best of the season. So with 3-second spots so far in the World Cup, Alison Dunlap moves into top spot overall with Grigson in second, Blatter third, Seidel with a non-finish here at St.Wendel in fourth spot, Fiona in fifth, and Corrine Dorland, second at Houffalize last week, sixth in the standings. We move swiftly onto the men's race. Keenly weighted by the crowd here. If it's anything like the women's, it will be carnage on the mousetrap descent. And we go to one of the favourites for today's race here at St.Wendel, the German rider L.Fumic.
Mein Name ist L.Fumic. Ich bin 23
He's saying that his name is L.Fumic. He's 23 years old. He's here in St.Wendel now for the World Cup, and he's going pretty good for himself. He said he's lying fifth in the World Cup, and he'll try everything to get a good result here, particularly because it is his home course. And of course, he said there's obviously some pressure on him, but apart from that, he's a normal person. He eats and he drinks. He has fun in his private life. Outside of his private life, he actually runs his own bike shop. It's closed half the day when he's training on the road or off-road in mountain bikes, and then the rest of the day it's open. He stays in the shop managing that. He also manages his own team as well. Otherwise, his whole life is practically planned with sports. Just says that mountain biking is a very fair sport. It's for anyone from 8 to 80, and it gives you a feeling of liberty. It's a good feeling because unlike a team sport, it's your responsibility whether you do well or not. And there he is on the start line, along with Rune Højdal, Ludovic Dubois, and this man, Tissot-UCI, one of the favourites for the race today. He's saying that it's good that the course has actually dried out from yesterday, because it actually rained yesterday morning and the course was very slippery. But he said it will make the race that much closer and very fast.
It's a nice race here, always a lot of spectators, a lot of Dutch spectators here, so I like to do well for the crowd, and yeah, I hope I can do a good job.
And that was Bas van Doorn, another favourite for today's race. Dupouey also said that he expects to do well, and I should think he would do. Although his Palmares here is not as good as at other races, but he's going to have to do well amongst these 160 men. They do a start loop like the women, and then 7 full laps. And Ludovic Dubois already leading out with Martino Fruet, the Richie Yahoo rider on his tail, with Bart Brentjens, the Subaru Specialized rider there as well. As I said, these riders doing the start loop first and then this climb. This really is a lung buster, or, as I said earlier, during the women's race, a knee breaker. And Bas van Doorn leading out at the moment with the world champion, number 33, the Harrow Lee Dungaree rider on his right, your left, as we look at the pictures. Miguel Martinez on Bas van Doorn's left, on your right, as we look at the pictures. Very hard climbing here. In fact, they used to climb up the grass on that part of the course. Not anymore on the road, much like Houffalize, and it looks like Christophe Dupouey is setting out his stall very early in the race. He's leading at the moment ahead of Christophe Sauser, Bas van Doorn and Philip Meerhager, the winner from Houffalize last week. What a win that was. He's leading out. Miguel Martinez slightly more cautious through the rock garden. Thomas Frischneck going through there. I didn't recognise him first of all because his number coming off. Tom Larson carrying the bike through. Absolute carnage in that rock garden, much as I said earlier. So important to get to the head of the race. Over the bridge over troubled water now, the name of that bridge. It used to be the case sometimes when earlier in the World Cup series where these riders actually had to ride through the water. They don't anymore. Riding over the bridge over troubled waters, they then have a climb up from that point, and then down through heaven and hell and the monastery. Can't see who that is at the minute. I think that is Christophe Dupouey. It is the giant rider, signed the giant in the winter last year. He had actually a verbal agreement with Max Commensal, the former owner of Sun Bikes, to ride for his team, but instead opted to ride for Johan Lammert's on the giant team. What a team they've got as well. Tom Larson, Rune Højdal, Jerome Ciotti, not here today. But already the circuit panning out now. Groups forming on this course, they always do. St.Wendel known for its bunch racing. It's almost like a road race, actually. Probably the reason why Philip Meerhager won here last year. Time for a short break now. Join me after that.
The Mountain Bike World Cup with the Volvo V70 Cross Country All-Wheel Drive.
This is L.Fumic, who we spoke to earlier in the just before the men's race, and he's saying that he actually had a crash with Gregory Volley, and Volley actually crashed into a straw bale, and Fumic was behind him and actually came down, and it affected the spokes in his wheel and buckled the wheel, couldn't continue. Unlucky for Fumic, 5th place overall in the World Cup, and we go to Miguel Martinez. We just saw him then going over the finish line, the start-finish line, after 4 laps, being chased hard by a group led by Bas van Doren. One of the favourites here, Miguel Martinez, obviously electing to go away from these riders, and I'm actually hearing over my headphones that he went away on the knee breaker climb. You'd expect that from the little Frenchman. Such a good climber. Did actually look very cautious on the technical rock garden descent, and it looks like Christophe Dupouey has done what his compatriot did before him. Broke away from that group, and Dupouey now chasing hard. The giant rider obviously wants to win this race. He said he felt like a favourite. I would have thought that Bas van Doren would have gone with him, but the Dutchman who won the first round at Napa Valley, electing to sit at the back of that little group with Meerhager just in front of him. But Martinez now leading out. The full Dynamics rider, of course, used to be a teammate of Christophe Dupouey, along with Ludovic Dubois and Christophe Heresay. What a team that was. Remember that year, 96, 97? Boy, they dominated everywhere, and it looks like Dupouey is catching Miguel Martinez. Had such a sad year last year with the death of his father. Affected his form, but he's now being chased by Beat Wabel, Thomas Hochstrasser and Bas van Doren. And I'm also hearing that Philip Meerhager has gone out with a derailleur problem, as we see Thomas Frischneck going straight over the bars. He was just behind that little group in 6th spot. My word, it's mayhem here in Germany. And as I'm saying this, Christophe Dupouey has caught Miguel Martinez on the heaven and hell, a monastery descent. Good riding from Dupouey, the 1998 world champion, and Bas van Doren now going to the head of this little group. Thomas Hochstrasser and Beat Wabel, what a surprise to see him right up there. Hasn't had a good season in the World Cup, with Thomas Frischneck now on his own chasing as we go into the very last lap. And who is it? Who is it leading out? It is indeed Christophe Dupouey. Although he's a mountain bike rider, he has got a fabulous road sprint, and generally if it comes to a sprint, he will be one of the favourites, and it looks like the Dutchman Bas van Doren, riding for B1, has broken away from Beat Wabel and Thomas Hochstrasser. I was actually saying about Wabel, hasn't really been up there in the World Cup. He was 24th at Houffalize last week, but he actually said that he lost about 9 positions that time because he had to actually qualify for Houffalize. But Miguel Martinez going straight back to the back of that group. He was actually with Dupouey and gone straight back. Obviously went far too early. Bas van Doren catching him and going straight past, and then hitching onto the back of Wabel and Hochstrasser. But Dupouey looks like he has got the bit between his teeth. Bas van Doren will have to go some to catch Dupouey. He's such an intelligent rider. I'm sure Dupouey will want to win here. Best position of 3rd in 1997 when Thomas Frischneck won. Frischneck winning in 96, 97, Meerhager in 98, 99, and Bas van Doren wants to make sure that it is him who wins and not Christophe Dupouey, but I don't think he's going to do that. And Martinez on the back of that little triumvirate there. And Thomas Frischneck riding so well this season, very consistent, but he doesn't like being consistent. He wants to win. He's won more World Cup races than any other. 7. My goodness me! What on earth was that? I think that was another rider just riding straight across the path there. Job he wasn't earlier, actually. Dupouey quite unflustered about that, although he did take a brief look. As we see Bas van Doren now coming into the final part of this race. He's not going to catch Dupouey, I don't think. But the Dutchman, who lies 3rd in the World Cup, is going to move up in the world standings. But so is Dupouey, the man in front of him. And indeed, this man, Miguel Martinez, I am sure. And it looks like Christophe Dupouey is going to get his first win of the year 2000. his 7th win of all in the World Cup racing. 2 in 96, 2 97, 198, 199 and 1 in 2000. Excellent racing from the giant rider. What a ride. Very intelligent. He said he was a favourite, didn't he? And it looks like Bas van Doren. He's going to come across the line in 2nd spot. Good riding from the Dutchman. He won at Napa in the 1st round. He double flatted at Mazatlan in the 2nd. He was 7th at Houffalize, but he's going to get a 2nd spot here in St.Wendel, and I think he's happy. Doesn't look too exhausted either, does he? And in 3rd spot, Miguel Martinez. He's so consistent here. 2 thirds and 2 fourths. Good riding. He looks tired. And in 4th spot, Bayat Varbel, a best for him for a long time. And it looks like Hochstrasser in 5th. We go straight to Christophe Dupouey. He said that last year it was a very bad year. I lost my team, Team Sun, and then at the beginning of the year he lost his father, and it really was a catastrophic year. He said to find a team like Giant was simply superb. A good team like that. It was a good debut for him. And it's the first time he's actually taken the leader's jersey in the World Cup since 1997, and that's just superb. So the award ceremony, a very happy Christophe Dupouey. I'm sure Johan Lammertz, his team manager, will be happy as well. So confirmation of the result: Dupouey in 1st, Van Doren in 2nd, Martinez 3rd, Varbel 4th, Hochstrasser 5th, Frischneck 6th. 3 Swiss riders in the top 6. That is excellent. And the overall results: Dupouey moves to the head of affairs. Van Doren is in 2nd, Martinez 3rd, Dubois in 4th, Prouet in 5th, Hochstrasser in 6th. And it looks like it did about 3 years ago, a Team Sun affair. I'm going now. Mark Biesiegel signing off.